Well, good morning. It's Friday. We had a slight change of shift around of our plans this week. Well, good morning. It's Friday. We had a slight change of shift around of our plans this week. We've got a repeat there too, which we've now got rid of. Thank you very much. So, what are we doing? Well, it's been an interesting week. In ways more than others. Let's crack on. So we finished the other little power thing, and I say finished in relative terms here because it's not finished, but just aesthetically it's been sort of finished. We are also building another one, which is twice the size. But we're not going to do that today because otherwise it's just a repeat rinse of what I've been doing for you. So I'm doing that off stream. Because we're going to need it for not only for the power for the smart plating just to help boost it, but we're also going to need it for the versatile framework factory when we get around to building that, which is going to be sometime in the next couple of weeks probably. Today we're going to be carrying on with the smart factory. We have the aesthetics basically to sort at this stage. We've got just a basic frame up, as you can see. Obviously all of this is going to change because this is going to get stripped out. We are going to have some tooler factories at the back here feeding the components in. As far as I am sort of aware down the line at this stage of the planning. So all of this is temporary, just while we're sorting everything out. I've got to sort of get my head around it really at this point, but we just can't do much yet in terms of this. I'm hoping I went and unlocked something because yes, I did tiltables. No filter. Probably not sure which one we'll work with yet. We'll have a look at them and see what they come up with. This is where it gets really tricky for me with no fly pack or fly mode or hover pack or anything like that. This is actually going to be quite a tricky little build. So I have to work out what I'm going to do because I don't really didn't have a solid plan. I've got a loose thing in my head of what I wanted. But it's a matter of whether I can pull that off basically and make it work. Now this here, I think we need to don't know whether it's going to do what I want it to, but let's see. This is where the problem lies, so I think we're going to have to shift what we do here slightly in the design. And that's going to go up more like that. You can zoop actually, mate. You can zoop, honest. And then these ones need to come out and we have to put in the full ones. Having a watch last night of another streamer just before I went to bed. I like to tune into his stream if I can, because one, he's got a very nice radio sort of type voice, which is very sort of calming before you go to bed. But it's also he does some really cool, nice builds, you know. Um, and I was very jealous because he had the hover pack or whatever it was working, jetpack. I was like, damn you. Very frustrating, but there we are. It is what it is at the moment. Until we've got this lot unlocked. I'm going to have to come out, I think, one this way so I don't keep falling off as well. Just while we're here. So I think that one needs to come out, that one needs to go in. Like that. We may have that going then up one more layer height-wise, which means that will turn to that, and then that will go up like that, and then these ones come out and go back to those full frames again. It's a bit of a pain doing this, but the reason for that is partly because of the design underneath. And as I say, this original framework was just the concept sort of idea, but as you notice here, where this base unit comes up, we really need it to sort of be in, at least attempt to be in line. With what we're doing. So we've got different wall materials here, which I'm hoping are at the same slope, but I don't know. I've never actually really used them, to be honest. No, they're not. Maybe that one? Oh, that one is. Awesome. Okay. So we have a choice. Choices, choices, choices. Let's just do a thing here. We're going to go across to there for the moment. Just having to build this platform so we can work around at the moment. No, I am really not sure of how I want to do this. So we're just going to try something, see what it looks like. If we don't like it, we'll have to switch it around a bit. That we're going to need the other framework done, aren't we? As I was saying before, we're going to have to do that on every single one, unfortunately. We need that on Zoop, please. Thank you. We can come back and do those after though, just so I know it's working. So I'm just going to, for the moment, do a little test sort of run on this end and see whether the concrete's going to work. This possibly isn't the best lighting to do it in, I have to say, because we've got choices of materials. Basically, we can either do it in the concrete or we can do it in the metal, but I think the metal's going to just be a little bit too harsh. And the other option is we go for just the fix-it version, which is that's the metal one, which is this one, which can be painted, which is the other option. But I'm wondering whether that design will get too much. But it does give us more options in terms of colour. Because at the moment what I don't want to do is I don't want everything to be just dark like this. I know we've been doing that on these vertical builds, but I'm thinking on this I still want a lot of lighting coming in on it. So I am half wondering whether to go light on it, but possibly even lighter, where let's take this one for the moment. I think it's 10 there. Do we go shiny or non-shiny? This is the question. Let's just try something. No, that's not the one anyway. Got the wrong figure in the wrong place. So it must be that one. And it'll be a minus. I think the way it works. Is that right? No, not there. It's just on that top one. Select. Let's try again. No. I mean, it's white, but it's not white. How did I do that before? I've done it before on concrete. Just taking it back. What's going on? Is it -9? Select. We might need to change the color sometimes. The switchover doesn't always work until you've... No, still not pure. I mean, we can go for a very white. Don't understand why it keeps changing it back. It used to do... It used to be -10, used to give us the... What's going on here? Maybe it was here. No, you see, it works on the foundation. See on the foundation how that's solid, white. That's what's getting me confused, and it's not working on the walls. That's a shame. Ooh, decisions. What do we do? That is a pain. I wonder why it doesn't do that on those. Does it do it on ordinary walls? Tilted walls? Oh, let's just get me a normal wall for a second, normal concrete wall. Let's just do a test on that just to see. No, it doesn't. Interesting. Does on the foundation, but not on the wall. Concrete swatch. I wonder if... But then it will change all of my concrete, which I don't want. Okay. Maybe we do have to go then do it dark. Custom swatch, what's that? How dark is that? Not dark enough, eh? I know a lot of people are doing white buildings and stuff, and I don't want to sort of go completely that route just because everybody else is doing it. So I'm wondering whether I need to just stick with my darker themes, which I tend to do. I mean, I've done it a lot actually. I was just hoping to do something a little bit different this time round, but maybe it's just not meant to be. So the idea anyway, while I'm thinking about this, there is going to be a little pontification upon this. There's a great word for it. So yeah, while we are doing that, having a think about this and letting that brew in the brain, nope, not the power cable. Do not switch that power cable off. You'll notice, by the way, in the top right-hand corner, if you've been following the streams or if you're even new, you'll see that I have amped up the space elevator amounts drastically. And we're currently aiming for the 50,000 on the smart plating, which normally is 2,500 if you're on default. It's slowly getting there. I mean, it's creeping away. While we've been building this just in the little coal power station, I'm amazed that when we cranked these up to doing 4, which was 20 smart plates a minute, it's really amped up, and it's amazing the difference. Eventually, we're going to be doing 100 a minute, but by that time, smart plating objective will be over. But that's fine because we can use them, I think, a little bit later on in the game, but also we can sync them, which will just add to getting us points to unlocking everything. So the idea behind this is that we're going to have some steelwork showing through and lighting basically so that you can see through to the innards of the factory and all its lighting when it's done. So that is the idea. So just as I did on my power station where you had all the lights showing, and also here where you've got internal lights and systems going on, and obviously from this angle you can't particularly see it, but they are there. Again, you're going to get this illumination like here coming through all of this basically between the build. That's the idea. But I've just got to work through the process of actually how that all actually comes about. So now we've got a surface to actually stand on internally, which is quite nice. One, two, three, 1, 2. Yeah, so here that needs to come off. We need to go up one more. like that, and then that can zoop up where it needs to. Then these will be replaced with these fellas. Rightio, so now we need to put in some steel work to hold all this concrete up, because it doesn't just float like this in real life, believe it or not. So we're going to do that and then come up a bit, if it lets us. No, I don't want to go that way. Go up. Maybe a half drop if I can. No, that'll do actually. Because I'll tell you what we'll do. It's looking alright. Let's have a little test with this, just see how we're going to go. Obviously it's going to be metal. And then we're going to go here and do two things. And this is a simplified sort of version in some ways of what would actually happen in real life. You'd have a weld plate, the beam be welded to the plate, this would be bolted into the concrete or even sunk into it. We used to make, when I was doing the 3D CAD work for precast concrete, we used to do all this sort of stuff, from anything from shopping warehouse type places through to elaborate homes and stadiums, all that sort of stuff. Missed the work actually, the work was good, the people were not, which is why I'm out now, still basically not doing a lot, unfortunately, trying to find stuff. But there you go, all part of life, life's rich tapestry. So I think that's going to be okay. It sort of works. And what we can do from here, hopefully, I'm not sure whether the diagonal will actually work at the right thing. We'll have to find out. It may be that we need... How does that look? Is that looking about accurate? Well, it's not too bad, I think. We will have to check the angle on that. Easy way of doing that, of course, is doing this. Now, as long as it reaches, we know. So how many have we done that down? So we've come down 1, 2, basically 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think that's going to work like that. 1, 2, 3, yep. What size is this? Inverted quarter pipe. Okay. That may be a problem. Let's just try something here a second and see. Just going to have a little quick look, see if it's sticking out. I think it is just catching down there underneath. But does it look like a feature or does it look rubbish? That's that's the key. Okay, that wouldn't be too bad as long as it's consistent. I think it would actually start to look like a feature of the design. So as long as we have that on each panel, that'll look alright. Yep, okay, I'm happy with that. That'll be alright. What it means is we have basically a semi-realistic way of concrete panels being suspended, basically. Oh, I'm short on blimmin'. We have a whole container here though, so it's not a problem. So let's go back. So lighting is definitely going to become the key feature of my builds, hopefully this time around. I really want to, yeah, do something with the lighting, like I've done. And some of the builds are going to be organic, so like the floral sort of power plant, cold power plants, and some are going to be more like this, more industrial, sort of sci-fi based. Come on, you can do it. Cool. Now we just need to do the old let's get that on default. Come around, and I really need to be looking the other way, that way, so I can get there. And probably one more, if we can work out roughly the center. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's handy. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. So the third one will go in here, basically in there. Which is then about here somewhere. So let's just do a test note, slightly up a bit more. Down a little bit more, around there. It's not going to be perfect, unfortunately. The rotations on angles don't match up. It's quite kind of weird. It's one of the strange little mechanics that goes on in Satisfactory. It just sits not quite flat, so you can get this angle on the diagonal, but then when you do the rotation it doesn't go by the same. It's kind of a bit odd, but you don't really notice it at a distance. It's only sort of close up. go. That should go on there. There we are. So that's how effectively you would probably, if you just wanted floating concrete panels. I did actually do floating concrete panels on a house, a $20 million house in Wanaka. Hello, what are you doing up here? How did you get? Oh, you must have come off here. You got nowhere to go, buddy. Oh well. Hey. But yeah, so we did a $20 million house, precast concrete. That was one of my projects I did. First one I was allowed on my own to deal with the architects and engineers. The company was so flipping out. My supervisor was such a control freak. It was just unbelievable. Very tragic, really. Oh, that's not quite sitting there. Okay. But anyway, so we ended up, yeah, basically it was quite funny actually. We were on a Zoom meeting with the engineer and the architect, and they basically turned to my supervisor and said, will you actually be doing the drafting work and the modelling?" And she said, "No." She said, and so she said, "Well," and the engineer goes, "Well, we don't need to talk to you then. We need to talk to the one doing it." So that was quite funny, really. Bit of a poke in the eye, but from there it went downhill because after that project they got really nasty with me, basically, not the engineer but the company. So, but there we are. We left. It's past. It's gone 2 years ago. But yeah, so we had floating panels on that house, and yeah, they was basically suspended off, similar to this. But there would be more in reality. We'd probably, and I might put in more yet, because that's looking a little sparse for such an expanse, I must admit. So maybe until we do one around here. Just try there for the moment. Hopefully get a picture. Yeah, that looks about right. That looks about right. Yeah, but the work was good. Working with software called Revit, which pros and cons of that software was it was great for 3D modeling and doing basic stuff, but it was trying to be too clever, incorporating so many different industries into the same program. And that was it's kind of needed in the industry, and I think Revit will be a breakthrough in terms of going forward. Um, if AI and everything else doesn't destroy industry in the meantime. But other than that, there's yeah, I think it was a good initial software, and I'll be really intrigued to see if there's other companies come out and start developing similar softwares that actually refine it and make it better, or whether it will just stay with basically the catalog and work the way it does. But we'll see what happens. So there we go. That's a basic framework of a fascia of what I'm talking about. Lighting obviously will be absolutely crucial in here to filter through and do stuff. And we might do some other stuff yet in terms of that. So for instance, these grills and stuff you see are really cool fences. Particularly when they're painted away from the orange. You can sort of, but again, this, I'm not sure how this will look. Again, we'll go downstairs and have a little peek. But you don't want people falling off anyway if they're doing maintenance up here, because you know this is real life. Um, Now, if I had the little, the only mod that I have used in the past basically was the infinite nudge mod, and it allowed you to rotate objects, and that was super, super cool because on here, as an example, and we could possibly still do it, it depends. I don't think it allows you, only rotates that way at the moment. With infinite nudge, you could rotate it on the other axis, and it means you could actually lie these flat going up here like a mesh. Really, really cool. But it is not to be the case. So, lighting. We've got two options here. When we come up here, we'll have to think of some sort of feature or finish on the edge here. I'm just sort of feeling my way at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see how it goes. You've basically got, for lighting, you've got two options effectively, and I wish they'd bring out more options, I really do. It's one thing I'm really hoping for moving forward, that they can organise themselves on. You've got this option, and it may be that we can do a combination, in fact, of lighting. So that's one option. And the other option, as you all know, is these things, which we're missing now quick wire for. So I'll have to go and organise that. But I'm thinking these might work quite well because, like with the coal plant, they do send out some quite nice rays, and along the edges here it might be quite nice to have those flooding out and then have the other ones down the centres more in the middle, casting the light sort of down through the factory. That's the way my mind is currently going. So let's just whip over and get some more Caterium without getting sucked into these things. So we'll just grab some of this, make some of these quickly just to get that sorted. And I'll have a drink. So a big thank you, shout out to all those that have been looking at my streams, and not necessarily during even the live stream, but those that have been coming and looking afterwards. Thank you very much. Do appreciate. It's a fresh new start for me, this build and this set of streams, so I am starting from scratch pretty much, so we'll see how it goes over the next few months. But we are going to be doing some wacky builds, so stay tuned. The large organic plant one's going to be an interesting build, but I've got to get absolutely everything unlocked before I can do that. But I've got other builds that I want to do as well between, so there's going to be another sort of, we've got to get a couple of these builds done until we can unlock the next phase, and then once those buildings are done and it's churning effectively all this stuff out, then I am going to be going and building from there a central storage. I think will be the next after these three small factories, basically. So we've got the smart plating one we're working on now. I'm hoping that will be finished by the end. When I say finished, I mean in relative terms to what I've got unlocked at the moment before I can upgrade it and sort everything out. But I'm hoping to have it done by the end of next week. That's the goal. And it will be just about done when the 50,000 is done. And then from there, we will do the versatile framework because that's the next biggie. And we'll get that factory built. And then we'll do the automated wiring. And then we'll do the central storage, I think, because by then I should have unlocked the other stuff that I want unlocked. Did I just do something really dumb and only do a half job? No, I did do the Caterium. Yeah, good. I had a sudden feeling that I only did it 2 ingots. Oh, for hover packs. Really, really, I can't wait to get that stuff unlocked. Right, where were we? Lighting. Under here, wasn't it? Yeah. So I think this will work. What we're going to need to do is, and the other thing I've really got to sort out on this build at some point is going to be the lighting, because we're going to need to work out what lighting is blue, what lighting is pink. They're going to have to be on 2 different circuits. That is where all the fun begins. So I think pink for the moment can come up. Oh, we have pink coming up to there. Can we get it up to here nicely? Because we might need to do a little thingy-majiggy like this. Okay, actually, let's just stick that in there. Let's do something here for a second. Maybe we could even stick it on the. Can we stick it on the inside? Okay, is it gonna let us do it? Probably not. That's all right. We'll come up this way then. We'll come up this way. Now I'm thinking that should. Now why it hasn't gone pink with these? That's blue. Okay. So it is blue. But that's pink. How is that fed off that? And pink. That's feeding. Ah, it's not pink. This is blue. This is actually blue. And it's mixing with the pinks that's on the sides. That's what's happening. Okay. So let me just slingshot this one across with a cable, if it's going to let me. I don't know whether it is. That's gone white again, so we're going to have to reset to the blue. And we'll go back and have a look and see whether this is too strong or whether it's looking awful or whether we need to go pink or whatever. I think that's going to be all right actually, and I think because once we get the other lights going down, it's going to sort of fuse a little bit because we're going to get pink lights in. Then you're going to get that sort of blend going on where it all gets very sweet and nice. So I don't think that's actually too bad at this point. We might need to do some tweaking down the line, but that's okay. Let's just whip up along here. Yeah. And it's catching on the steelware. I know this is all in the way at the moment, but which will be gone, obviously. But you can see it all catching on the steelwork, the lighting, which is what I want. Okay. Turn my light off and you can see it probably a little bit clearer. Once we get the pink light, I think diffusing through as well. We've got white lights above the soft white lights above the factories themselves, but I think we'll end up with pink somewhere as well, diffusing down the center aisle or something. We'll see how it goes. But in basic terms, that's what I'm thinking as a cover. We've got to work out something for these pieces here. We'll come back to that because I may do those grill feature similar things that we did on these vertical builds. The grill down here, down the bottom. So I might do something like that across there up in that section and leave this empty again so you can see through. Now the key is I've got to basically try and replicate that across. So across the entire length of this building. Now this is where it changes up a little bit because these ones stick out a little bit, and that is going to prove interesting because we have, again, I need to do that, sorry, take that back out. We want to keep that view going on the inside if we can. Because we're going to have to work out the steel work if this is going to happen like this. The steel work will just be sheer supportive maybe, like the suspended. Might have to play with that a little bit. So this here needs to framework, we need to change around again. Come down to there for the moment. We are going to have to sort all this out. technically that goes back there like that. So this sticking out stuff is going to be a feature, obviously. It's going to be a way it looks, but I've got to work out how to suspend that so it is in harmony with all the rest. Wrong key. We're short on concrete as well. We are. Okay, let's go grab some concrete. Getting phase 1 and phase 2 is done is basically the hardest parts, I think personally, in Satisfactory. I think everything after that starts to speed up because you've got everything unlocked, you've got supplies going. Once you get that sort of storage system organized, and you can have everything on dimensional depots and stuff, so you can just bleed off it basically as you need. It just helps the whole thing when you're building. It's just really hard at the beginning because you're trying to sort of build bigger projects, but you can't, you're limited all the time by stuff being made at the early parts of the day. And I've gone about it a slightly different way, perhaps from what some people would. I mean, some people by now would have, mini factories, perhaps producing screws and doing stuff. And I did it at the real beginning, as you know, and I've got some containers over there of stock up. But then I had to shut everything down, so it was like, okay. But we'll see how it goes, I'm trying to do things a little bit different from what everybody else does, but also from what I've also done myself in the past, Because I've always had a starter factory just literally producing everything for me right up until phase 4. This time I'm trying to not do that. I'm trying to actually get away from that. One, two, I think we actually need 3, don't we? No, maybe just 2. Shoot. To there. And then you can put these fellas back in. Probably need to start it from back down here. Yeah. Now what I've got to try and do as well is where we got this blue lighting down here, it was sitting very nicely against that up there, which of course doesn't exist here. So we may need to do something here instead. Maybe sort of like that. And we'll have a look after and make sure that we've got something sort of supporting that behind, so it just doesn't look too free fall. And then we're going to have to take the wiring back to that. But I'm thinking it might be nice to have it up behind in the building in the ceiling. At least. I might need to rewire that later, but that'll give us a bit of an idea of how that's going to work. I've got the rays as well starting to happen, which is good. Oh, it shines right back over here. Once this is out of the way, it'll be interesting to see how that's going to work. But yeah, I think once we get the pink in there as well, it's going to look pretty cool. Get the pink diffusing everything as well with the blue, and it'll make a nice little blend like down in here. Just softens it all out. It's very sort of Blade Runner-ish colours, you know, that's what I'm sort of... in the original Blade Runner, that is. I really love the new one though as well. I think the whole thing on that, the lighting and everything, the filming, just fantastic. I know a lot of people found it a bit slow, but that's, I think, because society has become so impatient with everything. I think people generally have just become so, I don't know, I think they're frustrated obviously with everything going on in life and stuff, but it's like it doesn't achieve anything by taking it out on people. And it's an interesting one. I mean, I posted recently just a post the other day on Reddit of my power build that I'm working on, the secondary one. And this guy commented, he said, nice build in the background sort of thing, and it was only a quick snapshot I've done on the photo mode selfie, my photo mode on here just for a bit of laugh and giggle. And you know, he said, nice sort of picture, but then basically complained about it being a terrible screenshot, and I was like, it kind of made me, half of me was sort of giggling because I was like, I think he's just missed the point of partly my sense of humour, because I actually hate selfies and the whole selfie era. And of course he doesn't know that because he can't pick that up through Reddit because I haven't made a post about it. But so the irony of it I just found very funny. But he was basically saying, oh, everybody knows what a Pioneer looks like and a Foundation looks like. And I was like, well, yeah, but I'm not using anything else that's not in Satisfactory already. It's like all these panels, all the steel work, lighting, everything is already in Satisfactory. Everybody's seen everything in Satisfactory. It's like... So I just found it kind of ironically quite amusing, but sort of it just for me highlighted the fact that people are just generally quite grumpy at the moment, I think, with things and dissatisfied, and it's kind of a shame, you know, that it's got to that where people just can only find a criticism on something rather than actually just enjoying it for what it is. And I've now got a problem because this is now not moving. Interesting. Ah, there we go. Suddenly decided to start working. That was weird. Okay. Maybe I was pressing the wrong key. Probably a user error. Wouldn't surprise me. Just try and piece these together a little bit here. Blink. It's interesting how there are certain things that are still slightly faulty on, like here the light rays are coming through the concrete panel. but the overall look is quite cool. So no, interesting. Same key, and it suddenly doesn't want to. Right, there you go. Weird. It's having a little moment. Right. Very good. That's the blue lighting down this side. We've got some of the panels in. We need to carry on with a couple of those yet. That lot's done. We need to do these ones here. And then we can go from there. Very good. Take the base one of those. Zoop it to there. Concrete. Start at this end. If we can, yes. Take it up. Same again on this one, and this is then the last one to do with that, so that hasn't gone too badly. Then we've just got to replicate the steelwork across the beams, and then when that's done, we can replicate everything across the other side. So these particular factories, the ones that aren't the organic flour type look sort of ones, are obviously not that complex builds. I mean, they're pretty, relatively easy to do, pretty basic. But the idea behind them is just to create a very sort of perhaps futuristic industrial, sort of look. Man, that does not want to do what I want. There we are. So we've got 3 panels, 4 panels. By the look of that, 1, 2, 3, 4 panels that are sticking out below. Which we'll have to work out as I said, the system for getting that back up properly. I'm wondering whether it's going to be easier to take these straight through. So I've got something to work off. like that. Now just give me the pivot, the point here to work with. Of course, it's coming out further, so it's kind of like there is going to have to be a difference, and this is where I'm not quite sure yet how we're going to do that. Have a little look here. That one didn't spin, did it? Ay, 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 ay. We're going to have to do that again. Like that. Looks sort of about right. So the other way we do this now is we take these beams straight across, like that. What we will need to do is change, take that out, take that out, and we might need to just extend it a little bit so that it finishes properly on that edge. It's not going to do it, is it? Just temporarily put that across. Like that. Just and then we need that fella there. And then we might have to drop down and suspend from there. That's what I'm thinking. Come on, it doesn't really want to do that from that angle, does it? Take that one out. Like that. So that's that. Then we need to drop somehow these down. So we've got the two. Still need that beam to basically come up the panel. So where we had 1, 2, one, two. I got my 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't want to do halfway, but we can just chuck it there and it should be about right. Diagonal. Now what I'm wondering, hey, you're gonna let me spin it? It's not. Peculiar. Should let me rotate that really. It's even got the rotate hologram there, scroll up and down, blah blah blah, but it doesn't actually let you do it. Which is frustrating, because I don't want that really like that. Now in reality what would happen here is you'd actually have a weld plate. These two would be welded together, or there'd be a big weld plate in here, basically welded to one of these beams, probably this one, and then this one would be have a T off it coming off the weld plate that would come down, and then it'd be bolted through and welded. And that's probably realistically what would happen. Ish. I say ish. Just from my little bit of tiny experience with precast concrete, but and that doesn't even want to go in the same spot, does it? What happens if I do that actually? That's not too bad. I don't like these beam connectors. I actually don't like them at all. I wish they'd have a better system for finishing off. But that said, I mean, it does tidy it up a bit. Now, what we can probably do is get rid of that, because we don't actually need the two on there. Do that. Do another. Have I got on? Sort of. Yeah. Really? Yeah, just stop there, okay. It's kind of not touching, so we're going to need to do these connectors or something going back into the piece there. Come on, freeform, that'll do. Freeform works. Have that. That's a little footing. It's near enough, it's not seen, so it's just sort of there. That's okay. I think we'll get away with that. What we'll have to check out is whether this is coming through anywhere where it ought not underneath again. Yes, it is. Okay. Go back and rethink. What's these? Were these attached to? No, they weren't. How can we finish these off in a way that's semi-convincing? Unless... Oh, unless we... Ooh, hang on a minute. Just a thought. What happens if we add that in as if it's part of the design? And of course you're going to get two of them, and then you'll get them repeated down here, so it becomes a feature. That could work. The other way we could do it is actually with the, rather than these ones, we could do it with these ones. So actually put that onto Zoop. So it becomes like part of the steel structure of the whole thing. That could work. Quite prefer that still being solid on the ends though, and then just having it the in between. And this here, you see, we may actually end up doing this across here anyway, just to carry the feature across. And maybe we even bring that across anyway and widen that up across that section. Doesn't want to go across, I'm not far enough, weird enough angle on it. Yes. Yeah, monkeys. That's in the wrong place anyway, so ignore. And these are around the wrong way. You want to keep that pattern going. Is that the right way or the wrong way? Yep, that's the right way. What I'm thinking here, just playing out loud here, playing, seeing what we come up with. Even that could work. The other way we could do that, possibly, if it's going to let us, is like an actual weld plate. And then concrete pillar, small concrete pillar. No, that would be the large, big concrete pillar. Something else in its place. Yep, we have to get rid of that. That could work. I mean, that starts to look like structural. A little bit more. Yep. No, I'm going to leave that for the moment. I'll have a think about that, have a look at it, watch it over time, and see whether I like it or not. Um, Turn my light off so it's not reflecting. Obviously, all this stuff here is going to be out the way, gone. It's just a temporary platform to work on. And then we're going to have the other pink lights diffusing the blue, so it all comes softer like this down here. Yeah, it's interesting. Step by step, we'll give it a go, see what happens. Let's go and get the other piece in. Meantime, top right, you'll notice we're up to 33,377 smart plating. It's absolutely insanity, isn't it? Madness. No, I think it's going to be diagonal, isn't it? I think that's right. And then we did the little piece here on freeform just to get the connectors to work. Hello. That's out of line, isn't it? Where are we? This line here. Having problems lining that up then. Strange. Never mind. It's now done. That connector's a bit out. That one's a bit too wonky. See if I can get it a bit better than that. There you go. That one as well. We can do better. Must try harder. School report. Right, okay, so that's that. We can put the other bit underneath, and then that piece is sort of getting there. We need a couple more supports coming down, I think, from here. Like that. Just get the alignment. Nope. Next one across, wasn't it? There. Okay. Connectors up on there. Down here they haven't had them, but we will try, see if we can. We might need a longer one. That looks a bit better. I don't like these connectors. I mean, in real life, these just would meld together lovely with a nice bit of welding. Maybe some bolts and a plate even going through the whole lot and some nice bolts. I'd love to be able to have all that actually showing. It would be awesome. No such joy. No such joy. Never mind. That's okay. We'll go and have a quick peek from the distance, see how that's looking. I think what we're going to do is delete some of this as well so we can actually start to see what we're doing. Because I can now, I don't need the panels this side for putting this up. So basically, because that's now done, so it's just internal steelwork, and then we'll be up on the upper floor, trying to sort out the slope coming down, which will have its own challenges. Yeah. Very good. That can go. I'll take that away from there for the moment, just to give us a bit of a slightly clearer view on all this. I love the way the blue lights already are shining up on these rocks and illuminating all that. Looks really cool. Amazing how much my little headlamp, how far that goes, that torch. So what we're going to do here now, just quickly, is put in the second one. We can see what it starts to look like a little bit, whether it's going to look good or not. One more. That goes there. Then we need that going up. Can you go one more? Yes, you can. Awesome. That's roughly how that's going to look anyway. We might tweak it a bit yet, but see how we go. Turn my torch off. So at the moment, that's what it's looking like with just the blue lights along this first row. Obviously, we've got the second row to organise. And it may be the upstairs we do pink. I'll have to just see how it goes. It's going to be really just playing around with the lighting and working it out to look very pleasant. Because I like the softness down in here, in this bottom piece that I've done where the lifts are. I do like the softness in here, and I think that will happen. It just needs me to work out the arrangements of lights, combinations, angles, all that sort of stuff. It does take a bit of time, but we'll get there. But I do like it lighting up the rock and stuff, and over here even on this face of the rock. And eventually that'll go up. Once we get the upstairs, you'll see it all the way up. Look pretty cool. This I'm still unsure about at the moment. I want to see what it's like when we get them going all the way along, and whether it produces a sort of good enough, nice enough pattern, if you know what I mean, a long continuity that sort of looks okay. The difficulty we've got here is there's going to be a shift, because once we get past this rock, there isn't an underneath as such. We may have a little bit of this shape coming out along the length, a bit sort of like a foundation beam sort of thing, large beam going off here, cantilevering. So that may happen, which would sort of make sense. Just wondering, I'm thinking this probably needs the extra row, but I'm not sure. maybe not. But I do need to work out what we're going to do in terms of finishing that off look-wise. Okay, well, let's carry on. We'll go up and see if we can do the slope coming down now and the lighting under that. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Just got to try. Some things work and then some things don't. And right now my ladder isn't working, so I'm going to create myself a nice little full hole there. Let's come up. Yeah, we're going to need to go land on there. We need to get up basically onto the roof, effectively up here. A player is in the way. What it should say is a property of fix-it is in the way. No, it's not the one I wanted. I just want the standard one. Bringing it up here so we've got something to jump onto so we don't fall back through. Right. Okay. So this is where it gets a bit more interesting. What actually I think I'm just going to do here temporarily, because this is going to get very messy otherwise. Let's see if we can actually do some steps. That's a bit more dignified, isn't it? Falling through all the time. So we need to get rid of this, 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 and that one. Then we need to bring these along like that. Yep. One across the top. And then I am going to just do this quickly here because I know what's going to happen. Yeah. Little level up here as well. Okay, let's go the other way. All this can be sorted afterwards. It's just we just got to get it going as a temporary fix so we can actually work. Tilted floor, wall I mean. It's so much easier when you can walk on stuff. Hello? Where did that go? Not where I intended. Zoop. Like that. Tone it up to the metal. Okay. Now the key here, Obviously, on this first section, what we've got is these coming up like that, and then these will be gone. 2 hours already. Good grief. There's one problem with Satisfactory is you don't realise the time that it goes. So that will go like that. My question mark, and I'm also going to do this all the way along so we are not going to run into problems unnecessarily. So that one's got to come out, that one's got to come out. And then we're back into there. Is it going to give it to me? Come on. There. Like that. And that comes up to there. Yep, and eventually we'll stick these ones across. Well, we can do that anyway. We can walk through here. That's easy enough. And then we need to replicate this across. Like that. Zoop it down. So this one's fairly straightforward because we can have this metal work the same at the top, etc. Just need to work out what we're going to do in between. And that's fine. That will sort itself out in due course. What I need to worry about is these ones where they are sticking out differently. And that's the challenge. This here needs to change as well, so we're going to have not that there, that's going to come up I believe to there, and then that comes up all the way to there. When you're building like this and that, you know, never be afraid of changes. That's the key. And sometimes it's a lot of work that you have to change. I mean, I've literally been like 100 or about 200 hours into a build, and I had to literally shift it by half a meter. So I had to unscrap. I had to scrap the whole lot, and it was I couldn't. It wasn't blueprinted because I couldn't use blueprints on it. Because it was a big curvature thing that pre-blueprint era, and it took me 500 hours in total because of that shifting by half a meter. I don't recommend it, but sometimes it's got to be done. Yes, fun days. Fun days, not. But it's good to experiment. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. You know, it's like with this. And we might get to a stage on it where we're just like, actually, this does not work. And we'll have to adapt the design. Hey, Mac. A tardy student enters the classroom, hoping not to be noticed. How are you doing, mate? I'm glad you found Neighbour last night, by the way. He's a good builder. He's one of the few guys I actually follow. He does some quite nice stuff. So this is going to be the hardest part for me here because it's not exactly what I was planning. And I think the only other way around this, if I don't want to have these drop sections, I don't mind them in some respects from visually outside because they look all right. But I don't know how it's going to work upstairs here. Because what we've got in effect is them sticking out up here, and I just don't know how far that actually is. Do you know what I mean? The difference of it. So I guess what I can do is for the moment do this. It's probably not the right way to go around this actually, but my head. I had a very long driving day yesterday with my elderly parents, and had to take one of them up for surgery and to the city. I'm absolutely knackered, so I've taken the day off work that I was meant to actually be working today. I'm going to go and work tomorrow instead. But I'm struggling also to get my head around this design at the moment. Okay. So that gives me a rough clue. We're basically 3 parts plus a so so if I do the opposite up here, so I did that to start with, don't need that one, and then I do that one there, and then another one below it there, and then you do another one of those. That's where the concrete should be, like that. Okay, that gives me the location of where that's meant to be. I believe that's correct, but we will test it, because what we will do is we will stick up to there. We will bring these up with a zoopy, and then we will go and have a look from a distance and see if that's working correctly. That actually could be interesting. Might have to, unless we do architecture. No. We are still bound at the moment by the limitations of what we have unlocked. But let's just go and do a quick visual check over here. Very good, sir. Thank you. Yes, I was very impressed with your partner in crime. Yeah. Neighbour doesn't really know me. I usually stay very quiet and don't say too much when I'm watching him. but I have commented a couple of times on stuff with them. But because I changed my name, you see, as well, so a lot of people who knew me in the past don't necessarily know me now, because I wanted to get away from all the bleh. So yeah, I think that actually will look all right. I think that's not too bad once it's dressed up. Get some more lighting all going in there. Pretty okay. It looks industrial, which is what I want. That's the whole point, which is a difference from the organic plant stuff, which has a very specific look, obviously. Um, so this stuff is very different. But I am liking the lighting that's started. Obviously, we've got another tier of lighting to go in, and then we've got to do mixes with the pinks and see whether we can actually get it to be nice and melted and soft like in here. Capture those Blade Runner sort of colours. Right, well, while we just take a shot of that, I am quickly just going to go and run and grab a biscuit, because I'm actually getting quite peckish. I'll be back in 1 minute. Seeing this is me in the bits. Try and build the Hewlett, unload them. Go for it, mate. By the way, the link you sent through didn't work because if it's set to private, it just won't work. It won't let anybody in. Oh, sugar rush. Oh no, I thought I put a plate there. I obviously did not. Bit like neighbours lift. Exit for unwanted guests, I put. Doors open to a great void. It's awesome. Now, now. So the question here is, do I try and replicate that steelwork again, which I'm going to have to. Oh man. Thank you, I changed it to public, no link here, but if interested, search on YouTube Satisfactory Mac Mayhem. I'll delete this post once you get it. Ah, yep, no worries, thank you, mate. I'll check it out after. Because I will be interested in see what you do. Now, that's not right, it's that way, isn't it? In it, know what I mean, Harry? Right, British accent, eh? My parents used to tell me off all the time. I say, why don't you speak properly? I was like, 'cause I can't stand it. Yeah. Let me just see if we can get down nearer and nearer to sort this out. No, I want that. Okay, interesting. How's that going to work? It's not. That's interesting. So that's in the wrong position. We can bring that down maybe half a notch. Maybe it's... No. Maybe it was like that. Ooh, pardon me. Yeah, it's now not rotating. So we're going to have to do it the old way again. It is off to one side, isn't it? It's sort of off to here slightly. Just trying to find that balance of where it was. Still not doing it for me. This is where infinite nudge used to come out beautifully, because you could just nudge it out tiny, tiny, tiny amounts. And I think what's happening is the snapping point to these walls is on the other side. It's on the face of it, not on the underside. So basically you've got your wall plate is now sunk, and you can't, I don't think you can do it. Oh, you can. There we are. Half nudge brings it out. Okay, okay, okay. We now know what we're doing. So let's bring it out the half nudge, nudge it down to there. That should be a better position for us, and then we can work out to raise this beam again a fraction more. Because that's now not in the right place. So what we need to do is, if we come here, rotate like that, bring that to there, and then nudge that down. That's better. Yep, okay. I don't know whether it's exactly identical to the other side, but in terms of down the bottom, but it's good enough, I think, that it's going to work for us. Let's do that. That's there. What did we actually, we didn't do anything, it just sat there, didn't it? Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. Just like a weld plate, basically. Ah, you deleted your message too quick, mate. I haven't got there yet. So let's go across to YouTube and have a look again. um, Satisfactory Mac. Was it Mayhem? Max Mayhem. Got ya. Got ya, got ya, got ya. I have found you. I've already subscribed. I must have done that the other day without realizing. Such an old git that I am. Right, I shall check those out later. I've got them up on my page now, so I'll have a nose of those after. While I'm having some lunch. Yeah, I'll get back to her later. Right, okay, so we have that first beam in, and now we need to do the other one, which is around here somewhere. So what we can do, I think, is bring these up on the diagonal. I don't know whether that's going to work, because I'm in the wrong place for it. Like a total noob. This is going to go right or not. Nope, completely wrong. No surprise. Maybe it's that one. That looks a bit better. Now, last time I finished this off going into the floor, which we cannot do this time as such, unless, well, we are, because we've done it here. So what we are going to do is we're going to go like this. We need to colour those up to the darkish colour, and then we can come and bring these up. I don't know whether that's the right angle. Looks it. Man, it's hard work, isn't it? Why do I put myself under this? It's just fiddly. It's not hard particularly, it's just fiddly. Right. So that's that one. Actually, I might change that to concrete. And then we can hopefully darken that up as well to that. Yes, we've got the lump coming out there, that's fine. I will destroy it by some other means. We'll have to I'll have to work something out here. I might need a backbone beam going across here to support these ones anyway, so that might hide it anyway. So that could be like, we could do a series of these fellas. All the way along. Which could work. We'll wait and see. I'll play with that after. In principle, it comes to there. Got to get the next one done. Then we're going to do the supports. I knew the upstairs was going to be more fiddly. Is that bending? That angle? That angle's not correct, is it? It's actually bending. It is bending. You swine. That's correct there to that halfway line. I wonder if I need to... Is that better? No, still bending. Grrr. Maybe it's the other one. Is that one correct? Oh man, it's so frustrating, isn't it? So the only way to tell is to do this, lower that, and it is off. They're both off. They are both off. Okay. Redo. Destroy my life. So it's there. That's the one. That's the correct one. Because that is just cutting through, which is what's happening down there. So that is the correct one. Right, so what we need to do is do the same up here. Just plug it in anywhere, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't have to be aligned at this point at all, as long as we can see it. There we go. That's that one there. Just cutting through. And that's now looking straight. Thank you. Yes. Right. So what I really need to do is the same sort of thing again, isn't it? Plonk that there. And then one up here. Very good. That's the easiest way of doing that, for sure. And what we need to do is work out where the other beams were that came across. So we had one halfway up here. Okay. So as a rough guideline. No, default. So default goes there, so that's where we want it to go from. Except we need to turn it. Like that. Like that. Now the question was, where did the next one go? That's where it gets tricky, because we now can't see. Do not delete the one you're standing on. I'm going to actually have to go down, aren't I, and have a look. Don't think. Well, unless I can go that way and look. Yep. Okay, so next one, if we go default and bring it up, that should give us the point. Love it. And the same on that one. Gives us the point. And we can do the same on here, just for the sake of argument. Gives us the point. Fantastic. So that one there comes across like that. Bring it down. We are on the wrong side of it. I'm going to block ourselves in. So that's that. That's what we want in there. Down. Is that too far? It is too far. Let's go from here then. Be the one. No. Maybe one more. Right there. Right. So we just need to tie these through. Oh, we've got one more on this side to do. That's okay. We can do that. What I need to do is take that through to there. This one here. It didn't do it. It didn't spin it, rotate it automatically to its. That's frustrating. Okay, let's go down, do that. I think that's the rotation there. Yep. So we'll do the same here. Put it across, rotate it. This one can actually go all the way so that we've got this one done. Like that. Sweet. And that's the steel work then on this side, upper side, ready for that piece, which works. Up here we'll sort out afterwards, we'll work out what we're going to do. There's definitely going to be like a spine or a central sort of beam, reinforced beam that's going to run top and bottom, as if it's taking a lot of the weight. So that's, yeah, definitely going to come to light in due course. And the other thing we need to do here is the lighting we've got down here going on. We need to replicate that back up. We can just perch here for a second. So that lighting is under that floor. Now, the issue we've got here, and it's one of the things I really wish we could do on Satisfactory. I know there's a mod eventually that will do it, which is the Infinite Nudge mod. And I really wish they would have integrated that and done a deal with Sir Dibley, or whoever his name is, Digby, who made it, because I like to rotate things, certain things, and particularly with lighting, I want up lighting. I don't want just down lighting, and doing it without infinite nudges is an absolute pain in the backside. So what I was hoping to do is here we've got lighting flooding down. What I would have liked to have done is had lighting flooding up, which basically we can't really do. There are little tricks you can do to get around it slightly, but it never really works effectively as being able to spin the actual light fitting completely around. So we are going to have to phase it down. The difficulty with that is it's not going to reflect off too much, I don't think, off this shape. So that's something we've got to work around. We may have to do a slightly different system than what we did downstairs. So I'm thinking at the moment, this is just an initial brainstorm sort of thing, basically. I haven't got anything here in planned officially. So I'm thinking maybe we do a series of these lights running along the bottom end of the spine, and it may be that we just do one per section, and then we do the other lights pushed up, sort of like maybe to there, above them. Or we do two of these. So we do one here, and then one over here, like that. Take that one out. So we have a combination of one and the two. And that may work. I just need to check the colours because obviously we're going to have some blue, some pink. And that's what creates that sort of, I know I can't combine them, so that can't come off there if that's a different colour, which it will be. So what we're going to have to do here is have two power lines running along this edge. So what I'm going to do is do that. That can go to this one. We'll run along the bottom effectively to another one, etc, etc. We can actually chain them, I think, nowadays as well. So maybe we just bring the power into this point and then we can chain these lights along. I think that might be the easier way of doing it. But I really want to see these on to see whether I need to position them differently. So let's get a wire up with some power. And I believe we've got a cable coming up to here because it's feeding this floor at some point. So or is it? Okay. Where did I bring that cable up? Ah, on the second one over here. Right. So that is coming up to that top there and going in. So if we take that across a little bit further maybe. Did I even take it to the middle already, preemptively or not? Let's go and have a little nose without falling. No, we did not. Okay. So let's bring that to there. We can sort cabling out if there's any in the wrong place later on. It's not crucial. I tend to sort of get everything roughed in and then go through and refine it. As I've said, I tend to operate the same way as I paint artwork, basically. Right, so that's that light, but we don't want that colour, so we are going to have to do... Right, let's do this then. That's okay, so we've got power, which is the key. So power's coming up, coming to here, and then we can divert it off to the two lots, but that means we need two lots of light control. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have, if I can get it to behave, we're missing altimeters. So let's just have we got enough stuff on us to do it or not? No, we do not. We're short on the old Caterium again. Okay, let's go. Let's go get the Caterium and get that lighting done. So I've got about 40 minutes left on the stream, and then I'll be calling it a day for today. Would have been about 3 hours long then, roughly. Roughly. We were just hoping we can get the look of this going, and then what we can do is, by the time we do the next stream, which will be probably Monday or Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday. We should be able to hopefully get the casing finished on this building, and the lighting, and then it will be pretty much left at that stage, because we haven't got everything unlocked, and all I'm trying to do at this time is get this basic factory up and running. It is running at the moment. We're up to 34,500 now smart plates. We've only got 4 units running rather than 10. Eventually we're going to be producing 100 a minute, but that is down the line. We've got to get all the belts upgraded and everything before we can do that and unlocked. So the idea at this point is we just let this tick along with 4 machines, because we've only got grade 3 belts, which is 270 per minute. So that's running as it is. So back there everything is a bit little hodgepodge at the moment, until we've got everything unlocked, and then I'll go back and be revamping the entire factory and getting it up to full speed. But that's quite a bit down the line. So after we've got the lighting and the basic casing done, I shall leave it as a project, and we will go on to doing Versatile Framework Factory, which will be another different looking factory, and that we're going to do next. I think with this one, because we'll have a look at what we need on it, but I think I'm going to go to Rocky Desert for it. That's just down the road, and then we can do the automated wiring. That will be next after that. So we'll get that one rolling, and then we can do this one. Basically, by the time we get this factory done, this should be just about finished. So it will be sort of like an ongoing clocking thing, and that basically means once we've got phase 2 done, it's going to open up huge amounts on the possibilities of what we can then do unlock, because the next phase, I believe it's phase 3, you unlock trains and stuff like that, basically oil and all that stuff, and that's where the whole map can change, because it basically means logistics start to be made. We can start getting railways set up, and then we can go across the map, and I can plonk down all the mines that I want to across the random nodes, and unlock and also develop the rest of the map where we can have a look and see what's actually around. And then I can build a massive train network to try and link all this up to a central storage system, which is what we're going to be building probably after these 3 for the phase 2. Actually, that's probably the route we're going to go. Yeah, where are we? Altimeters 1. What are we short on? Copper piping sheets. That's all right. We've got some of those. So yeah, so progress picture going ahead will be just get the casing done and lighting on the smart plating. Let that carry on rocking, doing its thing, and then we will go on to Versatile Framework, get that done, and then once the Versatile Framework's done, we'll do Automated Wiring Factory, then we'll do a central storage system, which then will be in place for connecting a network together as we unlock phase 3 basically, and get all of that done with trains and everything else. And that will be a huge project, massive project, and it will need some considerable probably thought into mapping out the railway line and what I'm going to be doing there. I've done the altimeters. Have I done the altimeters, or did I just collect? I just collected copper. Yep. Yeah, so that's roughly where we're aiming. And so it's kind of like getting these first 2 phases out the way is a major thing to unlock a lot of stuff. that's key really for the whole shape of the map in terms of what we're going to be doing. And then I'll have the headache of planning that railway line out, which is going to be interesting, and getting an oil plant done. With the oil plant, we may go two ways with it. I might do a temporary one because the oil is no longer in clusters like we used to have them. Oops. So before there was like, I think 10 to 14 oil clusters in this region. And then there was like 4 over here. So you could basically do, you know, pipe it around and you could have massive oil refineries out here and stuff, which is what we used to do. Nowadays, because it's random nodes, it's not that simple. And now you've got like oil here, a little bit of oil here, a little bit of oil over here, a little bit of oil up here. It's all over the show. Another oil here, another oil here, another oil here, another one here. So it's kind of like it's very random, and it means it's not all together. There's another one up there. So what I've got to work out is, do I do mini oil refinery places around the map like I've been doing with the coal? Or do I ship it, basically? So do I actually make the railway network, transport all the oil to one location and do a big refinery? At the moment, the way I'm thinking is I want to do clusters of oil refineries in different areas. And I think that is possibly the way I'm going to go. So it may be that we just set up like 1 or 2 oil things to start with to get enough power to do the next phase of the building. And all the geothermal power stuff, that I want to have on a separate network. And this is where it gets very confusing down the line, because once I've connected everything, I've got to redo all the wiring, because I basically want 2, possibly 3 circuits across the entire map. So one circuit will do all the like factories, and that will be probably nuclear powered eventually, because of the amount of power that that will need. Then I want a power supply for lighting across the map and a power supply for trains or network basically stuff. And that's another big nightmare to sort out down the line. All good fun, of course, but not a lot of work. Thank you for the inspiration, my friend. It's truly encouraging, uplifting, finding artists and outside the box thinkers like yourself and a few others discovering what this silly game is capable of. Exactly right. It is exactly that. Right, okay, so what we're going to do, we were going to stick up a couple of, where are we? So here's the lights. I just need to get my feet back on the ground as to where I was at. Ah, there's the light thingy, dinging. So we needed a couple of panels, don't we, so we can work out. So I'm going to stick that one there, rotate that one around. Then we've got the power coming from here, and we're going to bring it up. And I'm hoping that once this is in place, it will be hidden, you see, in the roof, basically. That is the goal. So this light panel here we're going to do for pink, and this light panel for the blue. Good luck remembering that. So what we need is, right, that's going to be the blue I said, didn't I? So we need camera 1 come off this way, and then we can just chain those down the line. Oh, it is chaining. Do we not have power on that? We do. Okay. Now we just need to do the pink. Which is the other circuit. Not that one. Nearly cocked up again. Okay, this one's going straight down, isn't it? So, because it's going to that other light there. So in fact, we should be able to take it to that light. Like that. Pink. So let's just, unfortunately we're at the wrong time of day at the moment on the in the game to actually properly see this. I need nighttime to see how it's working properly. And we've still got further lighting to do on this middle floor section as well, so that's going to influence things in time as well. Yeah, it's not doing it for me at the moment. That upper section I knew was going to be a pain because for lighting, because it doesn't do, I can't turn the lights upside down, which is a real pain. A real pain. Because I don't think if you do even inverted walls, tilted wall, if we do a tilted wall, I don't think the lights go on them. So they go that way, but then you can't rotate them. And if you go that way, they go back that way, and you can't rotate them. And that, hello, that was weird. Why did it switch me out to that? That was odd. H. Yeah. So you can do that. Maybe I'll have to play. That's why I say that it's going to be a matter of playing with it and seeing with the lights. It may be that these upper ones I need to actually attach to an inverted side of these walls and have them playing back on themselves inside to get light to work how I want it to. It is going to be very much an experiment and it's going to take a bit of fiddling, so I'll have to do that probably off stream. And then we'll get to see the finished picture. But in basic terms, the lighting down here I'm liking. That's okay. We do need to get some pink coming in to just fuse it a little bit like down here, just so that it's not But the middle tier might do that. If we put some pink up in the middle tier, that might just diffuse some of this, so it's not so harsh blue. If it doesn't, we can just adjust the blue, but I'd rather try and see if I could do a mingle of lights, because I love that sort of, I mean, you look at the colour here on this concrete as an example of the mixture of the pink and the blue, and it's just exquisite. I love it. There's so many subtleties and shifts in it, which is what I was getting with the little power thing that I'd done as well. Okay, well, I'm going to play with that. We'll just go and have a quick look for anybody who's watching who hasn't seen the other stuff. I'll go and show you the little power plant that we did start with, which is just over yonder here, because that's pretty much finished now, other than upgrading. Obviously, once we get everything unlocked, the belts and everything else, we can increase mines with the amounts they're doing. We can increase the belt loads, we can increase then the power load, etc, etc, and max everything out. But at the moment it's ticking along okay, but it looks very pretty, particularly in the dusk and the evening and nighttime zones in the game. And we've done the water tower now as well. The water tower is complete. You can see the water tower on the left there, and then the power plant on the right. And there you go. So that's our little coal plant. Just eight coal generators. I think on this one, 1, 2, 3. Well, I think it was 8 anyway. Yeah, I think it was 8. And then we've got the water tower over there producing the water for it. And that's quite nice. It's just giving us a good little balance. It's producing less than this because this is including the 3 back at the thing, back at the main yard area, which are going to be eventually wiped out once we've got the second coal plant done, which is at the moment under construction. So we're just working on that. I'll take you there quickly just to see the progress on that, and then we'll call it a day for today, I think. Don't normally use hypertubes, but I must admit during construction now, because on these random nodes it's all in various different locations, stuff happening rather than all in a close-knit cluster, it's actually quite handy to have these at the moment. These are temporary ones. I'll eventually have them along the network of railway lines or something. I've got to work that out, and then we can either catch a train or just zip along on the hypertube, depending which way we go. I'm going to try and have it so that we've actually got 3 options for travel, which is zip line, hypertube, or train, effectively. Then if anybody ever comes and visits the map, we can have races around the map, taking the different forms of transport. I think hypertubes would win. Boom, smack into a tree. So this one here's got 16 generators. This is just the bare bones of me mapping it out. So we've got 16 gens there, and I'm in the process, as you can see, of building the water tower. It's not completed yet. This flickering is interesting. I mean, I've tried to adjust different settings on my graphics to see if I can get rid of it. and so far I haven't been able to. It's just an in-game problem. So, but I will keep playing with the graphics and see if I can actually get that to stop. But in basic terms, yeah, it's coming along, you know. It was a real tight fit. It really was a tight fit to try and get the, because I've got 6 water thing extractors here, and very, very tight fit. Only just fitted on this little bit of water here that's on the map, so we're literally in here. And in the process, we lost a limestone. Can't use it because it's hidden under one of these things, but that's okay. There's plenty more elsewhere. So there you go. That's the joys of our build at the moment. All good fun. Sorry for a slightly shorter stream today. I'm just really, really knackered after yesterday. And I do need to have some sort of downtime and rest today before tomorrow. So I've got another full-on day tomorrow. So otherwise my health will go down the pan. But thank you for everybody who's been watching. Do appreciate it. And we thank you, Mac, for popping in and having a wee chat again today. And nice to see you again, mate. And I hope you and all yours are as well as can be in this life. And we will catch you, no doubt, another time. But yes, so progress going forward is definitely going to be, I'm going to try and finish off the lighting and the shell smart plating. That's going to be, hopefully, I'm hoping I might get that done by the end of the weekend. And then hopefully on Monday I can showcase that off in the stream. If not, we'll be finishing it off probably in the stream during Monday at some point. And then the next build we'll be going on to either Monday, Tuesday will be the versatile framework, setting that up and mapping that out roughly where that's going to be, getting the bare bones of that constructed. And yeah, and maybe we'll do the automated wiring at the same time. Might set up the 2 frameworks for those just to get them sort of up and running in terms of just basic stuff, so that we can get some numbers chunking while we're actually building. And then but before I can do that officially, I'm going to have to finish this power plant as well. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but at some point next week we certainly will get onto the new factories and start those rolling, and get things done this end. In the meantime, take care everybody, and stay safe in this crazy world, and we will catch you again. Thanks for the views.